have a deep-seated narcissism ingrained within my schizophrenic personality. I believe I have it under control. Indeed, I am a very sweet person. I am just a sweet mental patient. No matter how devices would attempt to make me out to be, I'm literally just a sweet mental patient. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider that I told devices, please, after they arrested me for no reason in the January of 2020, that I was going to expose them. And thus I did. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Wiltshire contains many secret facilities, of course the most notorious being Porton-Down Laboratories. And indeed, tunnel systems from Porton-Down Laboratories lead directly to the underground complex beneath the Roundway site and to the tunnels beneath the Wiltshire Police Headquarters in Devizes, which is the home of the Labyrinth cult that I've delineated in the previous couple of videos. Indeed, the Labyrinth cult are operative for Order of Nine Angles continuums, i.e. the Labyrinth cult are directly interconnected to 764 and the Nordic resistance movement. So it's interesting to consider that the fraternity of Devices Police is a satanic coven and a branch of new Aeon networks that wish to usher in Fourth Reich agendas. So it's all very interesting to consider that the country bumpkin baby raping Devices Police are operative for a Fourth Reich agenda. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, they absolutely loathe mental patients, especially the 20 to 30% of mental patients who are of a higher stage of evolution. Indeed, I've explained that although these 20 to 30% of mental patients, myself included, are of a higher stage of evolution, we cannot adapt to the modern world and therefore need a little bit more love, care, and affection than other individuals. And indeed, Devices Police, via their lies about me, have denied me this love, care, and affection. So it's interesting to consider. Indeed, Devices Police have done anything they can to destroy me, including trying to cut me off from communication with local felines. And this is basically the Devices Police agenda to stop any truths about the Devices Police and the Labyrinth cult from being exposed, basically. So it's all very interesting to consider the lengths that Devices Police are willing to go to shut me up. Indeed, they are organizing various factions of criminal elements within Wiltshire to attempt to expose me as what they are. Interestingly, it's interesting that their tactics are constantly to attempt to switch round on me what they are. Indeed, this is part of Zezetzung. Indeed, when you expose something, the people who have been exposed attempt to cast the exposer as what they are. Indeed, this is a common tactic in Zezetzung. And in my case, this targeting is complete with radiation being coordinated by networks of gang stalkers connected to the Ferris family. So it's all very interesting to consider that this ongoing irradiation of me is a Ferris family project licensed by Wiltshire Police. Indeed, much of the beaming has its central source in Melksham, at the home of Julie Ferris. So it's interesting to consider. Indeed, this is a Ferris family project. It interconnects itself with the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and the United Grand Lodge of England, and a certain Master Mason operating out of the United Grand Lodge of England named Samuel Buchan, who seems to have a personal vendetta against me for exposing Grenville Lodge number 1787 all those years ago. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, there are projects operative in Wiltshire that concern mind control experimentation and satanic ritual abuse, attempting to create networks of zombie mind-controlled assassins and schizophrenic super spies who would basically operate for the Crown. However, these projects undergo a degree of problems because the highly evolved paranoid schizophrenics and satanic ritual child abuse victims are not inclined to work for networks that abuse them so. And therefore, the programming doesn't always stick, and schizophrenic super spies often turn against their masters, which is why Project Aniseed was originally curtailed in the 1970s, although it continued in various formats. Indeed, I was programmed via Project Aniseed programming while at Grenville Lodge. The project does continue. Indeed, none of these mind control experiments are discontinued, no matter what declassified files may state. It's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, my main programmer was a Scientologist operative named Leonard Johnson. Indeed, he was also operative for a Fourth Reich faction within the British intelligence services and was therefore a DVD agent. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Leonard Johnson operates out of the University of Cambridge, but is deeply interconnected with the professors of the University of Buckingham, who are exposed as having been sacrificing people and turning their souls into cats. So it's all very interesting indeed. The nature of my conspiratorial theorem are basically the conspiracy theories of a crackhead. Indeed, although I do not use narcotics anymore, I'm still a crackhead in my philosophies. So this is basically a crackhead conspiracy theorist's guide to the galaxy, as it were. Indeed, if you watch all of these videos, you will understand the way a crackhead conspiracy theorist conceives things. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Devizes police are attempting to shut me off from local felines as quickly as they can. Indeed, they are attempting to engage some sort of order where I'll be unable to communicate with local felines. Indeed, this is all a part of the Wiltshire Police agenda to stop any truths being revealed to the public about the Wiltshire Police networks. And indeed, all these networks are interconnecting with the agenda of the Ministry of Defence operating out of Porton Down. Indeed, many experiments go on in the underground vaults and tunnels beneath Porton Down laboratories. Indeed, this tunnel system interlinks with Warminster Military Base also. There's an interlinking tunnel system between Warminster Military Base and Porton Down laboratories, and indeed, there are various experiments going on under Warminster Military Base also. They include the creation of mutants in view of some sort of zombie apocalypse that would basically enable the British police to erect their fascist police state in the United Kingdom. Indeed, these zombies, who are often programmed as cannibals, are also to be used in a potential future war with the Russian Federation. Indeed, the GRU also has its own sets of cannibals who are basically psychotronic programmed mutants and operate in a capacity whereby they would basically eat alive their enemies. Indeed, the British military intelligence capacity through the Ministry of Defence structure are also engaged in the creation of a network of mutant cannibals to be operative for the British Army against the Russians in a future conflict somewhere in Eastern Europe. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, GRU operatives are concerned that my exposures will bring problems for GRU operatives within Wiltshire. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider this. Indeed, my main topic of exposures is actually the Western cryptocracies. So do not make the mistake of believing that I am an operative of the GRU. I am not. I have no ties to the Russian state. I am merely a parapsychotic mental patient, one of the 20 to 30% of mental patients theorized by Itzhak Bentov to be of a higher stage of evolution. Indeed, I am a cosmicist, and I am basically ultra-terrestrial. Indeed, I am in communication with cosmic entities, which is all very interesting indeed. The GRU have many projects attempting to coordinate communication with extraterrestrial and ultra-terrestrial entities in view of the utilization of this cosmic intelligence in a future conflict with the West. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, there are numerous parapsychological experiments going on in secret laboratories and secret psychiatric facilities in the Russian Federation, mainly on extraterrestrial psychiatric patients. So it's all very interesting to consider the fact that these networks are coordinated out of Vladimirovka, where I was located during parts of 2013. I was located at the Vladimirovka Air Force Base under the tutelage of Colonel Alexei Savin of the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, who was also a GRU colonel. So it's very interesting to note, indeed, this network's interconnected with the International Organization for the Destinies of the World, which has an operation running out of a crematorium in the suburbs of Moscow. So it's all quite interesting to consider. Indeed, the guys actually running this project are Nazi types attempting to utilize mental patients in some sort of contact theory, whereby the mental patients are able to contact extraterrestrial and cosmic intelligences and utilize these transmissions and projections for a future conflict between the Russian Federation and the West. Indeed, it's interesting to consider that Russian parapsychological researchers are aware that mental patients possess cosmic intelligence connections, and this is basically all interconnected with the origin of the term lunatic, whereby mental patients are guided by the phases of the moon, which is all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I am a crackhead conspiracy theorist, and I am a lunatic. As I've stated, I am of a higher stage of evolution than the majority of society. However, I can't adapt, so I need help. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider that I am in contact with cosmic transmissions, and therefore I'm able to figure things out in a way that the average British intelligence operative cannot conceive. So I guess I've probably become of interest to the United Kingdom intelligence services. However, I would not serve the crown, so there'd be a problem there. Indeed, the Roundway experiment is basically the equivalent of Russian parapsychological research, and indeed there were various CIA-linked operations going on also during the Roundway experiment, such as MK Ultra projects, Flytrap, and Keyhole. Indeed, these involved the creation of extraterrestrial alters within the mental patient test subjects. Indeed, the 76 mental patients that were killed by the device's residents during the years 1989 to 2001 were programmed with extraterrestrial alters, and therefore were in communication with cosmic intelligence. Anyway, they would have been in communication with cosmic intelligence via being part of the 20 to 30% of mental patients who are of a higher stage of evolution, but the programming kind of exacerbated that communication with cosmic intelligence and cosmic channeling. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, there are networks of Nazis operating out of Swindon at the moment who want to kill me for exposing the Roundway experiment, which is all very interesting to consider. Indeed, as stated, the Roundway experiment was deeply interconnected with Project Moribund, which was the transferal of Nazi scientists, intelligence operatives, programmers, and psychiatrists to various facilities in the United Kingdom with the cessation of hostilities. Indeed, British intelligence at the time was operated by a Nazi fifth column, so these Nazi operatives were protected by the British intelligence services and utilized as part of an ongoing Cold War agenda. Indeed, the Soviets also transported Nazis to their facilities for utilization in a Cold War agenda, which this transportation of these Nazis allowed for the DVD to basically gain the upper hand. And the DVD was able to manipulate Cold War politics through infiltration of the intelligence and security services of the West and the Soviet Union. Basically, this allowed for the monolith that is IG Farben to assume control, as it has today, what with the IG Farben conglomerate basically running the show in East and West. So it's all very, very interesting to consider indeed. Nazi networks are operative for a New World Order concept based in the Order of Nine Angles is New Aeon, which basically will herald in a new age of outright authoritarianism. It's interesting to note that all of these satanic cults and covens are very much pro-police and pro-absolute authority. This is evidenced by Anton Chandor LaVey's writings that were heavily pro-police and the Church of Satan's general vibe. So it's all interesting how it interconnects. Indeed, all of these networks are basically of this ideology, such as Temple of Set also, which was an intelligence front for military intelligence operatives. Indeed, this Temple of Set network does interlink to the Warminster military intelligence capacity. Indeed, there are various military intelligence operatives of the Defense Intelligence Networks operating out of Warminster military base who are Temple of Set initiates, and therefore are heavily involved in mind control programming, even of children in the local area. So it's all very interesting to consider. I believe that a lot of children in the local area would have screen memories and would not necessarily be able to remember, apart from with regression therapy, that they are taken regularly to the Warminster military base to be raped by operatives of defense intelligence, i.e. the British military intelligence capacity, who are running a satanic ritual child abuse and torture ring from Warminster military base. Indeed, this is a common occurrence at military bases, and especially being here in Wiltshire, that this is Druid country, that there would be a spike in ritual and fetishistic child abuse by elders. So it's all very interesting to consider this truth. Indeed, Devizes Police have been speaking to Warminster Police, attempting to basically restrain me from communications with certain locals. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, there has been a lot of damage control going on in view of my recent exposures of Devizes Police, and they are operative for a Fourth Reich agenda and Fourth Reich elements within the British intelligence services who wish to see me caged, basically silent for the rest of my life before I expose too much about what is going on in the United Kingdom regarding these Nazi continuum intelligence services and their takeover bid for absolute control over the Anglo populations. Indeed, it's interesting to consider the amount of narcotics being spread in society, and this is due to DVD territorial ambitions and the attempt to build a Fourth Reich structure on the ashes of the United Kingdom and the United States. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, this is operated in a pincer movement with Soviet intelligence services who are themselves beholden to the DVD, such as the operations of the GIU and Soviet illuministic traditions that are in league with the Nazi ideology. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, this is an ongoing agenda. Indeed, all of these neo-Nazi satanic outfits are basically accelerationist networks that are actually working for the police state, as are various hippie networks such as rationalist networks. They basically tie into the overall Nazi agenda in view of the creation of a technate, i.e. a technocracy, which was the Bavarian Illuminati's original visions in the 1770s, as organized by Nazi elements within local governments, police, and Masonic lodges here in the United Kingdom, attempting to construct this Fourth Reich entity in the UK. So it's very interesting to consider. Indeed, as a mental patient, I am an ongoing target of neo-Nazi satanic covens, especially the Order of Nine Angles and the Temple of Blood. Both of these networks are basically attempting to coordinate hits on me via networks interconnected with Ukrainian Banderist nationalists, such as operatives of the Azov battalion within the UK intelligence structure. Indeed, all of these networks seem to interlink interestingly to Vermin, who has stated he will kill me. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Vermin is intending to kill me, i.e. Warren Grimes, known to townsfolk as Cass Lynch or Cassius Lynch. This man, Vermin, is attempting to kill me. So it's all very interesting to consider what exactly is going on. Indeed, he views me as a Nazarene, which is a despised element by Order of Nine Angles operatives. Indeed, they are highly hating of Nazarenes. Indeed, I am a cosmic intelligence operative, not technically a Nazarene. Indeed, this is a new continuum of thought. This is Itzhak Bentov's theories in action. Indeed, the fact that Itzhak Bentov is a highly intelligent Hebrew would annoy the new Aeon networks even more. Indeed, these new Aeon networks are operative to destroy all intelligent mental patients and all intelligent Hebrews. So it's interesting to consider what these new Aeon networks are up to. Indeed, the new Aeon is operative for Grenville Lodge number 1787, which is an overarching police lodge. Therefore, the new Aeon networks are operative for the Hellfire clubs, i.e. networks of satanic druids that coordinate the British intelligence services. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there now. Thank you.